Everyone is asking, are the bulls back? The stock markets and the crypto markets are rallying, but are we out of the bear woods? Crypto investors are eagerly waiting to jump back into the markets if the bull market continues. But to get the best view of the market, we need to crowdsource the best information from the experts of the industry and then make better educated guesses and decisions. One of the biggest YouTube channels, Crypto Banter, does every Friday a big show called the Friday Banter, bringing in top guests from around the crypto and traditional finance to get their views on the hot topics in crypto and the markets. But first, a few words on Crypto Banter before we dive into the show's insights. What is Crypto Banter? The YouTube channel offers views and educational content on play-to-earn gaming, DeFi and trading. Crypto Banter is a platform created to bring live, credible crypto content to the global community 24/7, 365. So one of its purposes is to fill the 24/7 streaming content gap in crypto. In addition to being a media company, Crypto Banter also invests in promising crypto projects. They also offer a free crypto school to educate their viewers on crypto and trading. Now let's get into the show and see who the guests are. First, there is Raoul Pal, the CEO and co-founder Real Vision Group and global macro investor. Raoul Pal leads Real Vision to provide unparalleled access to the very best insights and analysis from the brightest financial minds. He prides himself on being a business cycle economist, investment strategist, and economic historian. Real Vision is an on-demand financial TV channel you can watch basically anywhere, mobile, desktop, smart TV. We help you understand the complex world of finance, business, and global economy with real in-depth analysis and real experts. Next up, there is a less-known figure for crypto fans, Jurrien Timmer, the director of global macro at Fidelity. And lastly, successful investor Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, famous from the TV show Shark Tank. First topic of the show is about traditional markets, recession, and whether we have seen the market bottom or not. Raoul Pal started by saying how he did a Twitter poll about the topic and 25,000 people answered. 70% of them voted for another leg lower past the current bottom. Also, 75% replied that they are currently underweight, meaning that they haven't got much invested in this rally. The conclusion Raoul made was that there is no way the market is going past the current lows. He also thinks that the markets are not breaking the bottom even if the economy gets worse. What does Jurrien Timmer, the director of global macro at Fidelity, say about are we in a recession?
By the traditional NBER defined standards of a recession, we are very likely not in a recession, at least not yet.
Later on, he goes on saying that the markets have already priced in a mild recession more than enough, which would mean that some big negative news would be needed for the markets to see new lows. What does Mr. Wonderful say about is the bottom in?
Bottom is in. We're going to be flatlining for a while we wait to see what the Fed does.
And he bases his views on that there is 50-50 chance that the House and the Senate flip to the other party, meaning they lose seats in the midterm election. Due to this, there will be a total gridlock in Washington, so there will be no legislation passed, which is a good thing for the markets, according to O'Leary. So he thinks that gridlock in Washington will be good for the equity markets, which is also good for assets like Bitcoin and crypto. He goes on saying governments are not good at making economic policy, so most of it's bad policy. So the gridlock would shut down this policy machine.
When you have a situation where Washington can move policy, more than 50% of it is bad policy. When you have total gridlock, they can't do anything. They can't damage anything. Listen.
Also, Mr. Timmer's research confirms this view.
A gridlock scenario of some sort is the most bullish outcome for the markets, primarily during the presidential elections, but also the midterms.
Next, Ran chimes in stating that then we need the House and the Senate to flip so we can continue this rally. But actually, the House flipping would be already enough according to Kevin, because the new party gets to make pro-business policies. And O'Leary gives a 0 chance for the status quo to remain after 8th of November. What about the biggest topic in the financial news? Inflation. Here, Raoul Pal sums his view on inflation and its impact on markets.
So to sum it up, bigger, faster recession. I don't think it impacts markets. I think, kind of as Kevin and Urin think, I actually think markets are fine.
And he thinks the Fed could pivot after September or October, and then crypto could be the best investment. Regulation is a big turning point for the crypto market, and the issue of stablecoin regulation is next on the table in September. Kevin O'Leary talks about the importance of stablecoin policy, as it would also be a step towards improving the payment systems, making the US dollar the default payment system in the world. And regulation on stablecoins paves the way for more crypto policies. Also, Timmer supports regulating the stablecoins because it will legitimize the crypto space and helps with the institutional adoption, as they will feel safer to come into crypto markets. Here Rand chimes in on how he thinks stablecoin regulation will help the crypto markets.
If there's regulation in stables and more people are comfortable buying stables, those stables can much more easily filter into things like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Raoul adds that the regulation and big financial players like BlackRock getting involved will also give people more confidence to enter crypto. On the topic of Ethereum merge, Raoul starts by stating that he doesn't look at the Bitcoin price as much as he looks at the ETH price. ETH is Kevin's largest position, but he is still skeptical about the merge. Let's hear Kevin's first reason for his skepticism.
But you've got to remember, we've been talking about the merge for 5 years.
Okay.
And secondly, he's worried about the miners having a lot to lose in the merge. Ran replies to Kevin that the final testnet was a success, so everything should be working this time. And he goes on saying how the miners could fork Ethereum and continue mining the new token. Next, the discussion goes to whether ETH is a better asset for institutional investing than Bitcoin, because as Ran outlines, ETH is becoming ESG friendly, truly deflationary and high yielding asset. Here is what Mr. Wonderful thinks about it.
So many people in the crypto world are against regulation, but I say that's false. If you get regulation, you get more capital. You've made a great case right there for why we want policy on Ethereum.
Raoul Pal totally agrees with Kevin and brings up a very interesting point about ETH staking yield, and that it's becoming a benchmark interest rate for Web3. This is huge for DeFi too, as Raoul continues with his insights, how all risk in DeFi can be measured against this. And he ends by saying the ETH merge is the biggest thing that has happened in the crypto space since the launch of Ethereum and launch of the stablecoins. Then Ran opens up a discussion about whether ETH will flip Bitcoin at some point, meaning it will go past Bitcoin in valuation. Raoul thinks it will happen for sure, but Kevin is skeptical because the biggest money, like the sovereign funds, only know Bitcoin and they want that. They don't know enough about Ethereum, and regulation is even more unclear than with Bitcoin. But when there is infrastructure and regulatory clarity, Kevin thinks we are off to the races.
The demand for at least Bitcoin and Ethereum out of the beginning is insatiable. It is insatiable at the sovereign and pension level.
Then Raoul asks Kevin what kind of regulation is needed for this scenario to play out. Kevin replies that, for example, the world's largest fund manager, BlackRock, is waiting for the SEC for clarity on regulations. And he thinks we can expect this biggest money moving to Bitcoin and crypto after there is policy for stablecoins first and then for Bitcoin. But Kevin is optimistic on Bitcoin and Ethereum for the next 24 months. Finally, Raoul presents the question when exactly we will get the clarity on policies and regulation. Kevin has a clear view on this, that it will happen by the second quarter of 23 after the midterms if the house flips. And he continued, quote, "I think you want to be long after November the 8th. Kevin ends with one more point why he is pro-regulation.
That's why whenever I talk about crypto now, I'm pro-regulation. I want the sovereigns backing me up with a bid every night.
Last topic is about US sanctioning the open source protocol Tornado Cash. Raoul Pal thinks there has to be a middle way, that some things have to be sacrificed for heavier regulation and oversight, and then have more freedoms in other areas of crypto. He thinks there will be other services in future to have the same faith, but again Raoul sees them as compromises that have to be made so others can operate. Ran sums up Raul's answer here.
So it's a sacrificial lamb, basically. You're saying that Tornado Cash is the sacrificial lamb. We have to start a Tornado Cash that the rest of the ecosystem can live in peace.
Then Ran brings up news about Tornado Cash developer getting arrested in Holland, and Kevin has a quite strict view on the matter.
And if we have to sacrifice him, that's okay, because we want to have some stability in that institutional capital. That's what we've been saying all hour.
And he goes on elaborating how he wants more regulated space to bring more money to crypto markets. The key points of the show are that the markets have already bottomed and there is a bullish outlook after November 22. The Ethereum merge will make ETH an extremely attractive asset and makes DeFi go to a new level. Stablecoin regulation will kick off the process for wider regulation of the crypto market and will provide clarity for bigger investors, which is an overall positive thing for the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum and other cryptos.